the teammates have already had their match. Every team is going to race 2 matches per week for all of League. The teammates have already played. That was Count Crabberry versus Maniacal, I believe. And today it's going to be Andy against Idle Child. So I'm Aussie 101. And then with me on tracking is Jestro. And tracking we will need because we're playing a full area countdown. And that's one of the modes that's a little bit hard to follow. But we'll see just how we do once it gets going. And behold the Andy sprite running the buff pug. That's one reason you want to follow the muscle club, because they're running the buff sprites. Most other teams are wearing the just basic Samus or recolors, but muscle club, they're showing off the muscle. And Andy also taking a bit of a lead, but part of that's because he had a head start. Not entirely fair, but we're going to compare the timers after, so it's fine. Yes. Posing majestically on that elevator. Just get a missile pack at the start here. And that means the ceiling item will be the morph ball. And so they're going to have to show us that they practiced the damage boost up to the ceiling item. We're seeing that Criteria has 2 major items. Major items are going to be everything on the tracker plus grapple and x-ray. And so when they get this morph ball, the 2 is going to become a 1. So it's going to say Crater 1 now. So there's just one more item here. We also get to see the mini pug, which is also great. It's pretty much the Link to the Past sprite, pug sprite. So we got supers already. The early game, we're watching out for one of each type of miner. And like other stuff. But at this point on, we need the miners. So supers are going to open green doors and super blocks. And that's going to limit or expand their options. So no power bombs means we can't go left. To the left is a transition, an area transition, as part of full area. We're in Criteria now. There's 5 transitions out of here. So there was the one that they just passed by the elevator. And then at the top of Parlor, there's going to be 2 to the left and 2 to the right. And with supers, they can access the one that's on the right side. That's on the battle crabs. Because another part of being area transitions means it's going to remove the door colors. So it's not an orange door anymore. No kind of bomb, so they have to skip a few checks. They're playing full item randomization. I think that's implied by countdown. It's not required to be the case. But full item randomization means items can be anywhere. And then countdown manages that by telling you how many majors are in each region. Okay, so there's power bombs. Power bombs are not morph bombs, so we're not fighting Bomb Drizo. And that's going to open up all the transitions in this area, so they can go anywhere they want. But then the other option is to look for this other major. But it's just one major here, so we might see them leave. Going to the right, to me, means Andy wants to check the mode area, because there's not enough power bombs to get through Gauntlet. Idle's going left. Going left gets you the Terminator item, which is Super Pack. It also lets you scout the back of Gauntlet. Going right, like Andy is, gets you the moat check. So a little more information for Idle. I'd also call Idles play the more standard. We get to see an E-Tank there. We've seen in some of the earlier races this week that E-Tanks can be very important to the logic. But the C's not going to tell you where the E-Tanks are. Okay, so that's a funny one. Idle gets that information on the other side of Moat. And Andy does not. So that is an advantage to Idle. It's pretty rare to see transition connect to the same area. But right now we're going to see green Brinstar versus red Brinstar. Red Brinstar, like more streamlined checks. And easier to get the full clear except for X-Ray. Oh yeah, they're both vanilla transitions too. The Seed's just being funny. Green Brinstar, it's more checks. And also 3 total majors. And we're getting some health early, so that's nice. Okay, so that's Lava Dive. I told myself I was gonna track the areas, and then I forgot. Okay. I'm caught up now. Yeah, for Red Tower, if it's anywhere except for X-Ray, then it's pretty easy to find the item. Especially coming from the top, you're not splitting your checks or anything. But at the same time, they're both going to be collecting miners and E-Tanks. E-Tanks in this count as miners. In other modes, they don't necessarily. But Green Brinstar, where it has more checks, it means you're going to get more miners. And that's just more supplies that you can use later. And he's spike boosting through the spike way. As the pug fall. And this is the Meridian map room. Not too useful now. And the door's facing the wrong way for some kind of gravity jump. Some door arrangements can let you like skip up there. And we're getting a Edicum powerbomb check. Doesn't have to be powerbombs this time. Can be anything. Can even be the major. The various suit in the Spazer item. And it looks like morph bombs were picked up by Idle already. So we got some red pants on. The pug. So morph bombs help a lot with bomb management, as well as the other power bomb pack. We also got a plasma beam, and that's gonna help a ton with damage. Like had the option to just plasma shoot everything in that room, but instead jumped over. It's a bit safer. But plasma is going to help save a lot on health and on time. It's the other thing it's saving. So there's our last criteria entrance. And this will be our last red Brinstar, which is going to be Kraid. So vanilla bosses. And that means this is a easy clear. Yep, Andy not having that plasma is going to lose a few seconds here. Because couldn't shoot through that key hunter. So this store, we have a Croc with 0. Croc with 0. Not really worth fighting. They already have everything they need for this point in the game. Charge Beam is the last item. Nice quick kill from Andy. So Charge Plasma and Green Burn Star. That's going to be really helpful. Charge is good, like, down the line. Plasma is really good now. Either way, you want to collect a bit more ammo. Idol just knows that. He doesn't have to. But Andy can keep putting off a Green Burn Star if he doesn't find a connector to it. I missed where that was. Where that went. So Andy just needs to find a way to kill the the bosses in the meantime, up until he does find that Charge Plasma. And then also just has lower overall resources because the areas he's gone through had fewer items. Single chamber. Like, it's not uncommon to need E-tanks to do upper Norfair checks. It's kind of the next step. If the first step is finding supers and power bombs, then the next step is having a way to clear the next area, whether it's upper Norfair or West Meridia. There's still one item in criteria, so this makes a lot of sense for Mandy. Normally you just see going through Blue Burn Star as a way to get back to the other transitions. But he also gets the Morph Power Bomb check and also Billy Mays for 2 items, which is a regular missile pack plus the value super pack. Not the major, but not nothing. And he still does need the super packs. And then Idol saving a bit of time with that transition that he scouted earlier. Grabs kill in 1 hit. But with Plasma Beam, you can kill them back and then take their health. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit of health perm there. Elevator riding. The part where nothing happens. Oh, especially now. So Idol just tried to farm health because the big hoppers are going to do 80 damage. And just doesn't want to die in 1 hit. If he does another double farm, then gonna get that health. Taking a save. You do want to save periodically. Usually you want to plan your saves though. Maybe also just doing this for health refill, a bit more health. But there's something you can do by save scumming. You can go down a lengthy check to scout an area transition and then reset your save. Power bombs. So Andy cannot check the climb supers or the ship power bombs. That's going to leave the Gauntlet E-Tank as the check he can do that could have the major. We've already seen back of Gauntlet. E-tanks. It's also good to just have safety health. Idle doesn't know that Varia is coming up, but even with Varia, you want some health. So you can damage boost through rooms. How do you decide on this ship color? Negative Kirby ship. Should Andy get the Snoopy house ship? That'd be a cool ship. So, not really any risk of dying here in Gauntlet. Okay. So Andy's not going to get the major. It's one of those two spots locked behind another item. So if Idle can avoid coming back to Criteria and trying to find this item, could save a good chunk of time. Full clearing a region is not fast. And these items that Andy's finding aren't actually useful. Like the E-tanks are like countered by the Varia suit, supers by the charged plasma, and power bombs by morph bombs. So like they're gonna lose a lot of value as soon as he goes through Green Brinstar. As nice as it is to get early resources. Okay, so this will be Idle finding Kraid. And it seems like the next step is to go through Upper Norfair. And I guess Andy is closer to that. Okay, with charged plasma and morph bombs, there's not a big need to collect miners anymore. 30 supers, 15 power bombs is a good number to just finish the seed on. They both probably want a few more E-tanks. There's also situations where you need more E-tanks. But the other miners, they don't really need. I know what the plan here was, trying to morph over the reserve tank. But I had to get it on the way out. Yep. Take your health, Andy. Live safe. So the majors were, I think 2 were in Edicunes and 1 at Green Hills. So we probably see the full clear of pink, except for Waterway. And Idle knows everything at this point, so just has to either go back to Criteria or continue through Upper Norfair. It hasn't seen the tube. This went to a heated room, I thought. But yeah, so that's Lower Norfair. It has a 0, and they know both ends. So there's not much reason to come here. Yeah, if you're not super confident in getting through this without taking hits, then you should just leave. And yeah, Andy fell. He's gonna have to go back around. So let's see, what was the other? Yeah, Lower Norfair is not too out of the way. It has a connect, like Red Tower connects to West Meridia, and it's just a few rooms away from that Lower Norfair portal. So you can put that off until the end of the seed. But optimally, you do it now. You just have to not get hit from anything. And I think that means Andy is closer to the next progression. And Idle has to backtrack through most of the world. So we are going to see if Idle wants to clear out criteria for the major. They do have morph bombs to get to ship peeps. And so if they just go left of moat here, then they can go straight to that location first, and that could pay off really well. Making some decisions here on Andy's side. I think he was checking the fast items so they could skip the slower checks. Yeah, for this super shot, you need to scroll the camera all the way right, and then stand on a certain pixel. There he is standing on one of the pixel spots where you can be within like 4 pixels, and it would hit. Idle's just running through. And that'll put them kind of even on when they pick up this major. As in, they're both gonna put it off forever. So Idle, I think, passes Andy. But it's gonna be pretty close. Maybe when he's picking up charge. And the door we're looking for is the farthest door. Yeah, my first thought would be when he was in Mission Impossible, but that seemed too close. But all these room transitions do take a while. So it feels like the routing to this point, advantage goes to Andy. Except his full clear of criteria didn't pay off. So he's done more checks, but the checks weren't meaningful. And now they're both gonna be here at the same time. Andy just has to jump into Croc and back out again. 5 items in Upper Norfair. That means you do it all. There's some transitions that are always awkward to check in Upper Norfair. So we'll see how they decide to do that. But like Chronic Boost and the Croc door are a little isolated from the Crade Mouth doors. But Andy just gets to run right through this. Doesn't have to backtrack across 3 zones. Yeah, there. Same room. Andy's up 2 E-tanks. 4 versus 2. It has more of every ammo. And that's a result of doing all those extra checks before finding the green Brincer items. But we'll see what we get here. Should be a couple movement items. But the big one is the gravity suit. Okay. Well, now what do, Idle? You have 2 suits, charge, and plasma. Okay, so all you need for go mode is Batoon Hallway. And they have gravity bombs and crystal flash ammo. So it's completely up to them what they feel they need to finish the seed. I'm pretty sure Idle Child can do the crystal flash clip. I think Andy can, but I don't know if he's practiced it. But this area is pretty item dense, major dense. So it's very easy for one of these majors to be an item that helps you the rest of the seed. Like, there's a lot of majors here, and the items are grouped together. So it still makes sense to make some of these checks. Oh, Andy deciding not to do the muscle jump. We'll see how he gets up to the reserve location. Looks like it's bomb jumps. Oh. Heckin' waivers. I gotta start over. There's Torian at Chronic Boost. And that's gonna be all of our dead ends. So that's something you definitely want to track, is your dead ends. We've already seen Kraid, Croc, and Torian. Idle turning around for the faster path. Yeah, it's still faster to do it this way. And then because he doesn't have speed, you can run right through the lava. It's a lot faster than you're normally used to with gravity and lava. Okay, so Torian's in a big hub area. Which is nice. Rock door. It's also West Meridia with 4 items. Well, well, well. So Croc door is hard to get back to if you were to go to like the cool side of Upper Norfair. A space jump. It's a big movement item. We get the big orb pug. Yeah, buff pug is copied a lot from buff Kirby. This is gonna be our divergence. We'll see which area has the better majors. Beach ball. Beach ball makes sense. Nice. So ice beam and high jump. It's out grapple. Super pack there. There are really 3 majors in Upper Norfair still. Or the 2 after grapple. So it's just gonna be the last 2 checks. Right. So ice is that Batu item. So it's going to save a ton of time off of that. Plus Torian, plus damage. So Idle really could just go to the end of the seed from here. Andy doesn't have a way through Batoon yet. A little bit off. This gravity jump isn't bad without... since he does have high jump. And then Andy gets the speed booster. So, very interesting. They're going to have different movement items. This is speed space jump against ice high jump. And there's not really any reason to pick up the others' items. And they're not all that convenient. Idle could find space jump if they needed to go through Cathedral. But really, that's it. They both have one boss down. Okay, so left door. Also Meridia. So we haven't seen East Meridia at all. And it looks like both Wreck Ship and Upper Norfair are going to connect to that. I think that means the routing could work out. And he's going to have to go out of his way to check transitions in this area. I think Idle comes out like in Upper Meridia, in West Meridia, and can just continue through. We'll see. They're both going to come out at the same place. And that means they're going to get the same path through East Meridia. So Noah's going to save a good chunk of time by getting the good door. Charge Ice Plasma is 600 damage. So it's the same as a 6 Doppler. So you can do 2-2 and then a free 6. And in any percent, a 6 Doppler is what you're trying to do. So it could set you up for a 2 round. But it's a nice fight. Oh, Andy has Wave Beam too. Missed that. So a little bit more damage for Andy's beam. It's a 750. It's like a 7 Doppler. Ah. This is in Meridia. So that's going to balance their beam damage. They happen to have the same super count. Andy with more E-tanks. But the big thing is going to be this high jump ice against space jump speed. Nice air Doppler, but couldn't finish. So one more round for Andy. So it's East Meridia, the bad door. That means the front is going to connect to Upper Norfair Crademouth. Yep, they're both in go. They were both in Upper Norfair at the same time, but Idle went to check the door transitions. Andy went to check the items over by high jump. And so now we got this ice and high jump against speed and space jump split. And I want to say idle has the better transition information and is also a little bit ahead in positioning. Okay. I forget which way is faster to get to this door. It doesn't matter much. Yeah, as nice as speed is, it's gonna lower all of his jumps, make them pretty awkward. So like this room with the Avirs that Idle's in, Andy should do it a lot faster. But if he does fall, then it's gonna be a lot of problems getting out. Oh. Very nice room from Andy. But it does look like both of them are playing in go mode. Andy just happened to run into that wave beam, which is going to improve his damage a lot. So, yeah, a bit lucky on that one. But otherwise, they're going to skip pretty much all the items. The Batu and E-Tank is coming up, and there's no way to not see it. And there is one major here, so there's a chance. Yeah, Idle actually doesn't have speed, so has to go through the item. Oh, Andy's actually looking for more items. Some more health. It is very fast, 2 checks. And ice and high jump are still really good. Screw attack too, still pretty nice. But you probably be slowed down enough by enemies that screw would save time. Space jump gonna help with Coliseum. So we're seeing a lot of rooms where Andy's items are gonna save time. So here we have Dragon fight. Yeah. Very nice sprite. The pug on the bird. But here we got a Dragon fight. Charge shots are pretty good. In case it would cost all of his ammo to do an ammo fight. I like doing charge plasma fights a lot of the time. Unfortunately gets grabbed. Losing a lot of health, actually. It'd be pretty helpful if Idle checked the precious item and got that E-Tank. Stick around for at least health drops. But it's all small health and ammo, so it's not very good. Okay, one more round, Andy. Okay. Let's get a nice speed kill. This is another room where space jump is going to save time. You can just space jump right out instead of gravity jumping. So we can already see that Andy's catching up. In a lot of cases, space jump is better than high jump. And then speed has its own advantages that can't be copied. It just opens up new paths. Zoom! Yeah, just one room away. Oh, and Idle has to go through the top way again. So Andy's gonna pass here. Okay, now this door comes out to Upper Norfair. Right on top of each other. Just a second between door transitions. Okay, so Idle doesn't know what left door is. It's gonna be Meridia. And this is full Meridian knowledge for Idle. So they're taking this right path to get to Lower Norfair, which is good. Andy's still checking for items. I thought that would block the grapple block. There's 3 more in Meridia here. 2 of them are at Watering Hole, and the last is Crab Supers. And he should have seen that, but I didn't see it. Well, he's probably looking for high jump and ice, and he's not going to get him. So all this time spent checking items is actually put Andy behind. Showing why it's important to skip checks once you're in go mode. This door. Oh, this is Torian. Yeah, Andy doesn't know where this door goes. I wonder if he could have deduced that at this point. Might have been able to. But Andy needs to get back to Lower Norfair now. Last boss is Ridley. And he's not all that close anymore. Like, Idle picked a really good time to happen to be near Lower Norfair. Like, we'll just see how much distance is covered within Lower Norfair by the time Andy gets there. Like, this is part of Idle's advantage when they were together leaving East Meridia. Like, Idle knew more transitions. Almost got the... Is there a name for that? Probably not. It's like reverse slinky with space jump. Green Bren, yeah. He has to go through all of Green Bryn, and then all of Criteria to get to the crab door. And then that still puts him at the bad entrance to Lower Norfair. So Idle is just in a really strong position right now. Andy was always doing checks on the way. Like, Ice is going to speed you up if it's an on-the-way check. He ended up doing too many and lost more time than Ice would have saved. But it also turned into him not having full area knowledge. And then just being put far away from where he needed to be. Like, if he really wanted a major, he could check climb supers and probably get it. Idle does need to watch his health. Key Hunters are going to do 50 damage. But has that reserve. Should be fine. Is likely to take a double hit if he does get hit. That does depend how much health is in reserves. Right, so he went to the bed door through Criteria instead of taking the bad trip through Lower Norfair. Might as well get supers. You're at 0. But Torian Elevator is going to be a full ammo refill. So it doesn't really matter. Just needs to not die here. Okay. 2 reserves can still get through this fine. If it was 1 reserve, then you'd want to stop and kill the Key Hunters. I did get that double hit, so lost an extra 50 damage. Now Torian is Upper Norfair Chronic Boost Door. And we're seeing Idle leave Lower Norfair right as Andy enters. So that's pretty significant difference now. Can't really come back from this without a mistake. Okay, crabs won't kill with that gravity off. They do hurt. It is scary blindly gravity jumping up through crab hole. It's scary just being on no safety E-tanks coming through these Meridian Lower Norfair enemies. If Idle peaks in high jump, then they can see a grapple beam. But no reason to do that. Okay, he's gonna do that, sure. Idle knows they have 0 of 4 Upper Norfair majors found. It's losing a lot of time on this jump morph. They've already cleared out all of Bubble Mountain area. So it's just Cathedral and Ice Beam, Crumble Tower, High Jump. And there's going to be 4 majors among these. I just don't know if they save any time. Like, even if they were right there. Like, speed would, if it was in that high jump room. Oh, but then he's... Okay, he's checking from this side. Like, while passing through Cathedral, you should just make the check. But space jump doesn't save time at this point. Speed's the one that would save time. Wave could, by cleaning up your Metroid rims. Yeah, speed would be a lot of save time. It's too bad we can't directly compare Idle's Lower Norfair against Andy's to see how much speed is helping or hurting Andy's jumps. Oh, I don't know if Muscle Club's allowed to play without custom sprites. It's their team identity. It's drawing my viewership. For Andy to come back right now would be a mother brain death. That's really it. He's on 1 health, so it's equally likely he could die. Has a couple of reserves though. Oh, just the one. In this situation, you want to leave... Well, actually, it depends on his plan. But you could leave 1 health in reserve, and then just tank a hit. If you want to drain all of your reserves, then you'd want to damage down in Crystal Flash. But if you have 1 health in reserve, then it doesn't matter how hard you get overkilled, you're gonna survive it. Ah. 51 health, has to wait a bit longer to get this Crystal Flash. We got a new pug is born. Exactly 1 too much health. And earlier he had exactly 1 to survive. Right. As you can see, there's some sprites that are just really well made. But unfortunately it's harder to play the game with them. That's just because Super Metroid's a hard game to control the sprite. Otherwise, we'd see a lot more custom sprites. So... Oh, okay. No ice skip today. You want to shoot it from below. Ice Plasma is the beam combo that makes it awkward to do ice skip. And it's not even that bad. But I assume Idle is rushing. Andy is a very strong Super Metroid Randomizer player through the combo rando. Idle, well in the lead. So 2 full reserve tanks. Just needs to not take a bad catch-up. Jump. It's 30 shots. And they're through. Don't need to damage down at all. And should be a safe win from here. The difference really being where they went different ways out of West Meridia. And a lot of that was because Andy didn't know what door led to Torian. I'm gonna have to ask him what his tracker said at the time. Yeah, a lot of the seed, they had that movement item difference, and we only got to see the parts where Andy was pulling ahead because of it. But then, like, Metroid Rims is where ice would be better. This is the second game between these teams of week 2. I believe it's died at the ship is at 0-3. Muscle Club was at 3-0. And died at the ship is gonna take a point here. Yeah, this is a sub-hour finish. Maniacal also with that sub-hour. This is with full area. A lot of randomization happens in full area, but they're getting through it fast. The early suits made it pretty fast. They did spend a lot of time in the early game looking around before actually getting to Upper Norfair. Then Gravity was right there, and then they also ran into a way through Botmoon in their next couple of checks. So it was pretty fast once they got to Upper Norfair. This is Idle, the final ascent. Andy nailing the speed zip skip. Not at all easy to do. And it's gonna be in this Mother Brain fight right as Idle enters the ship. And that's a win. That's a time of 58:46. Idle Child. GG. Andy's gonna finish this out. We're getting another brain fight. It's gonna be a pretty fast fight. So we get to talk to Idle Child here, the winner of the race. GG.
Hey. That was a good one.
Yeah, it's a nice time. sub-hour.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it. I thought I routed really well. The only thing I was a little worried about was that 04 and Upper Norfair, leaving that behind. I heard you mention on stream all the mountain checks were done, so like it was a very loaded left of Upper Norfair. And that's why I
Interesting.
did those last two at the end, which were supposed to be quick. I did struggle with it a bit, but if speed had been there, that would have saved me maybe a minute, because I would have been able to route faster to G4 on top of the Turian save.
All right.
It would have been a big save, but it also would have made me nervous because, like, well, Andy probably has that. But I see now he didn't have ice beam, so it kind of that balanced out a little bit.
Yeah, it was right after gravity is where you both split. As soon as you were done the bubble mountain checks, Andy went to like the high jump area, and you went down. So that's where you got speed. Was that ice beam?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so he didn't have a
to
reason
get
to
out
look
here.
for ice after that.
I'm glad that Lower Norfair hit 0. I was tempted by it, and I think if it had been 01, I knew Upper Norfair had some number in it. I didn't see the number. Like, for some reason, I forgot the number. I thought, I think it was a 3. I didn't realize it was a 5. Oh, good thing I went back here. It's so tempting. You get to the Lower Norfair, you can do it. You can see it's a little out of the way to get back to it, but not too bad. That was the thing. It wasn't. I figured, okay, there's probably going to be a path to West Meridian to get back here. It won't be terrible to come back, and obviously that was the right play. I barely had enough ammo and health to do it efficiently. And,
Yeah, that's pretty much how I called it. Like, you have to be really careful if you're going to go do that Lower Norfair on 2E tanks.
So yes, you have to route it back in. But if you come back with anything, it's funny. I think I came back with ice. Like, I didn't come back with that. Gravity. So I was doing half damage. So I had a nice damage reduction from gravity.
Yeah, Andy also ran out of health on his way back through Lower Norfair.
The amount of time extra time I would have spent farming and killing key hunters to conserve health and everything would have probably made up for the time difference of having to route it back into the route. And then there's also the risk I just would have died, so.
Yep. I thought it was the right call to leave. Come back.
Yeah. Did Andy make a similar choice then? Did he see it early and...
He saw it earlier than you, and that was another difference, is right at the start, he went right in Criteria and you went down Terminator first. So his items weren't that good at that point, even though he had Varia.
He didn't even have Varia, you said?
He did have Varia, but didn't have Charged Plasma.
Well, yeah, then there's no way you do it without Charged Plasma.
Yeah.
I mean, I think technically you might have had enough supers, maybe, but you need Plasma to cut through those pirates, too. Like, can't even consider it without Plasma, at least.
Yeah. So an interesting result of that was he got to Upper Norfair faster by route, but he spent time clearing Criteria. And so then you got to Upper Norfair at the same time. But that's Andy finishing. Time of 103.26. That awful negative sprite.
Oh gosh. What is...
GG.
What was that ship?
I know. I'm cool with Buff Pug, but not that ship. We'll see if he wants to come in here. I did have another question. And that's like how comfortable you were, mostly towards the end, knowing that you were racing Andy. If you felt you were ahead or behind. You kind of looked like you were rushing.
It really depended on just what was in Upper Norfair. Like, if he had been able to route that in quickly and it's space jump, screw attack, speed booster, and he's just flying through Meridia. My Dragon fight was a not great. Got grabbed there. The Ridley fight was really good though. I was happy with that. Um, but I knew I routed it well, so I thought I was probably ahead. But I also like that's kind of part of the reason I made those speed checks is like if the speed is right here, at least I'm gonna get that for the end. But I was worried it was just gonna be like at the back of high jump, you know. At least with ice beam location, I wasn't gonna check that. That wouldn't have even saved me time.
Yeah. So I'll let you know that Andy passed you right after Dragon. Because he had that speed, really saved a lot of time in Batoon hallway and space jump through Coliseum. But he didn't have the Torian knowledge. Kind of where the difference in endgame came from.
Oh, really? Okay.
Um,
Somehow,
but
I
what?
guess when I did pop into the restream, I saw he was still on Ridley, so I wasn't sure. Oh, did he? He didn't. Did he check for G4 before going back to Ridley?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
And that's almost all the time difference.
I guess I'd have to see like what decisions he was presented with. It's very tempting to be looking for your go mode of G4, but it's at the same time kind of a problem if you still have a boss left. So it's hard to say. Like I'd have to see what his route was exactly to know. Okay, so he spent more time in Upper Norfair than I did, but then took a similar route and passed me up with the speed booster. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Is that was going to
Yeah,
happen because I left so many items in Upper Norfair. Um, I don't know. Like I was actually going to go back to Upper Norfair if I didn't find my go mode in Beach. Like I'm going to check these beach items real quick. I'm at this portal. And then it was go mode. I was like, well, I guess I better just go find my bosses. But I was thinking that Upper Norfair stuff might. I mean, it would have been kind of a pain if I'd done all those Upper Norfair checks and then I go to the top of Upper Norfair and the two portals connect to each other or something dumb. Like, it would have been really out of the way. So at some point, I just had to bet that the go mode would be good enough.
right. Yeah, it was interesting to watch. You both split up. You both got your go modes by splitting up and pretty fast. So I was comparing your execution with the different item sets, and that was cool to see. One other thing that we saw was Andy was still making checks for majors, and you were mostly skipping checks.
Yeah,
And
I
so we could
mean,
see a gap develop because he was making more checks that weren't paying off.
I kind of regretted skipping the precious missile check before Dragon. I mean, if that had been like X-ray or speed booster, that would have been very helpful for that fight, or grapple even. But so that was kind of a mistake. But the E-tank afterwards was kind of helpful.
Yep. It's a nice refill. But I guess that's it here. I don't really see Andy popping in. So I guess we're not going to get to ask him anything. So any closing words?
Thanks for the restream. Thanks Aussie for comms, just for tracking. It's really awesome to be able to get to watch this back. I mean, I'm genuinely interested too. I think there were different ways to play this at times. And it's cool to see we did take different routes in Upper Norfair. I'm really looking forward to watching it back, and it wouldn't be very easy to do that without these restreams. So it's a lot of fun. But I could have put on a good show. Glad that we've had a lot of volunteers to this tournament. Shout out to all the other comps and trackers as well, because it seems like a lot of the races have been covered, which is amazing.
Yeah, volunteers are doing a great job getting coverage on these races.
That doesn't mean we don't need more volunteers, by the way. If you're out there,
Absolutely. More volunteers reduces the workload of people who are volunteering.
Yeah. If you don't want these people to be burned out, you can step up and help them out.
But yeah, thanks for racing Idle. We got to watch a cool race here. Really fun how it developed. Thanks to Jestro for tracking. And that'll be it for this team matchup for this week. But there's still more races to be run for the rest of the day. Let's see. The next one can be 140. That'll be Will Cut Breast for Rubies against French Force. About 3 or 4 left today. That's the next one. Let's be Gaming 3. So you can tune in there. But with that, we're done here. So enjoy your afternoon and see you next mission.